to talk a little bit about the flow of work. If you were to remodel a house yourself and rather your GC's doing it or rather you're doing it yourself, you need to know what should be done and in what order. If you know this, if you memorize it, if you get good at it, then you're going to be one up on your contractor, and you'll be able to call your contractor out if they're remodeling the house in a different order. Now, some of this stuff can be interchanged in different parts of the rehab, but for the most part, this is a really good layout of start to finish on how you should rehab a house, how it's going to be most efficient for you and your team and your guys, the fastest speed and time. I sat down with a couple of people on our team and tried to create how do we do it and what's the best way to do it so I could teach you so you're able to go out and manage your GC or manage your workflow a lot better than you would if you weren't armed with this knowledge. The very first thing that you're going to do is fix the foundation. You're going to fix the foundation absolutely. That's just the first thing you're going to do. If you don't fix the foundation first, you're going to have other repercussions, such as your plumbing might break, your windows might break, things will be unsquare, unlevel inside your house. So you're going to try to lift your house and make your foundation level first. The next thing you're going to do is fix your roof. You're fixing your foundation first because a lot of times when you fix your foundation, it's going to mess with your rafters, and they're going to, if they were bowed, they're going to straighten out. If they were straight, they might snap. So you're going to fix your roof and fix any rafters that you may have. You're also trying to secure the property, and if you have a bad roof and it's leaking, that water is just going to keep coming into your house and damaging stuff inside your property. So that's why you want to repair the roof. One of the first things you want to do is that roof work to stop the damage from reoccurring on the inside of your property. Next, you're going to designate a place to put the trash for your rehab. Some people bring in dumpsters. I am not a fan of the dumpsters at all. And this is the reason. If you put a dumpster outside of your city or outside of your house, a lot of times the city's going to come by and they're going to red flag your house. Hey, this house is being rehabbed. A lot of times people don't want to pull permits, and they don't pull the proper permits necessary to rehab their house. They just go straight into the rehab. If you have red flags on the outside of your house, the chance of the city coming in and messing with you and the code enforcement coming in and messing with you is a lot higher. Also, with the trash containers, a lot of cities, most people don't know this, but a lot of cities require you can only use a certain trash container company in that particular city. The city essentially signed a contract with a particular trash company, and you can only use that dumpster. Now, if that's the case, most of the time it's a lot higher than if you used an independent contractor for that trash. The city is getting paid a fee on that most of the time. That's why it's a little bit higher. And you'll get a ticket. I got a ticket on a property for having a dumpster in my backyard, and the reason I got a ticket on it is because I thought it was Fort Worth, but it was really North Richland Hills, so it was the city next to it. I thought it was a Fort Worth address because that's what it was on the tax rolls, but the city of North Richland Hills came and said, no, this isn't Fort Worth, this is North Richland Hills. Here's the ticket because we have to use this particular company in our city. So I choose to use trailers typically, and this is the step that we're at here in the workflow process, is you need to find a designated area for your trash. The best place is going to be in your garage because it's not going to blow all over your yard. If you don't have a garage, put 2 tarps down, like 40 by 40 tarps. What I like to do is I like 5 feet on each side of my tarp, and I don't like to go past that 5-foot mark because that's when trash starts getting in your yard and it becomes hard to clean up. So tarp it off on the ground, put some cinder blocks on it or whatever, start throwing trash on it, but have one designated spot for all your big, bulky trash. Once you've decided where your trash spot's going to be or where you're going to take all of your garbage from your house, the next thing you're going to do is demo all of your appropriate areas. So you decided where all the trash is going to go. Now you're going to take time and demo everything that needs to be demoed. This next step that I'm going to tell you is really, really, really important. You've done the demo phase, and you've probably exposed stuff that you did not know that was there before. So this right now, just take a breath, take a step back, go back through your rehab, and look at everything, all the damage. Make sure you can do what you think you're going to do for this rehab. A lot of times in the demo phase, we expose what we call a wet wall, or a wall with drains in it that we didn't know the drains were there, or there's water lines in it, there are AC ducts, AC lines, there's something inside those walls that we were, say, going to remove. Well, if you remove what we call a wet wall with all that stuff inside of it, it's so much more expensive because you're not just removing the wall, you're removing the electrical, you're removing the plumbing, you're removing the havoc ducts, you're rerouting and rechanging stuff up, and you may want to change your whole entire rehab at this demo stage because you're now exposed to things that you didn't know were there before. Particularly in the bathrooms and the kitchens, you're going to find termite damage or water damage. You might find plumbing leaks behind the wall that are currently leaking. You might have to do some water mediation. You might have to fix some slub floors. We rehabbed a house just recently where we took out the tub, and the whole entire floor was made out of 2x4s, not 2x6s. So at that point, we had to reevaluate, hey, look, we're putting a lot of weight on this. We should really take out this whole entire subfloor and put down the 2x6s with the joists. So it's right. So at your demo stage, just take a second, look at everything in your house, look at your bid, make sure that you can actually continue on with your bid before you think you're going to remove a wall and you can't actually remove a wall because it was load bearing or whatever reason it might be. Take a moment to look at where you're at on your rehab. Next, you're going to start repairing the wood rot on the exterior of your house. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple things back to back on the exterior of a property. Some people choose not to rehab the exterior of the property until the whole entire interior of the property is done. The exception to this will be the windows, because you need to install the windows before you do your sheetrock repair on the inside of your property. So if you're not going to do any of your exterior, at least do your windows and then finish the whole interior property and then do the exterior. And the reason people don't want to rehab the exterior of their property is because then again, it's going to flag the city, it's going to flag the neighbors, people are going to know you're rehabbing the house, they know it's a vacant house, you can get your appliances and your copper and your hot water heater stolen. If you don't notify everybody that you're working on it, even though you are, you just keep your investment a little bit safer and you get the city out of your hair a little bit. So at this point, we're going to do the exterior wood rot. By exterior wood rot, the main common places we see it, the siding might be rotted out, especially if it's close to the ground. The bottom 2, 3, 4 feet that is next to the ground might have water damage, might have termite damage. We also see a lot of fascia and soffit. Fascia is the part that's facing the street. Soffit's the part that's underneath that makes the roof edge or ledge. You want to fix and repair all this. When you fix and repair it, you're going to caulk, C-A-L-U-K, all the way around it. Make sure that it's waterproof and airtight. Once all your wood rot is repaired, assuming that you are painting the fascia and the soffit, you're going to paint the exterior of the property as much as you can. Before you paint, you probably don't want to power wash it because your paint won't stick to areas that have algae or moss or dirt on it. So you want to power wash it at minimum. Sometimes you're going to have to prime it depending upon if it's raw wood, you're probably going to have to prime it. If it's really old wood, you're probably going to have to prime it and then paint it. Now you're going to move back into the interior of the house and you're going to remove all your old walls. If you're planning to demo your walls on the inside, this would be a good time to start removing them. And make sure if you're removing a load-bearing wall, you know what you're doing, you're signed off by an engineer, and that you're supporting your house, or that you're supporting that area with a substructure, or you're supporting that area with a temporary brace before you move a load-bearing wall. Install your load-bearing wall and then remove your supports after that. Now that you're at the point where you're going to start framing stuff out, you're going to frame out all of your new walls on the inside of your house and all of your windows. If you're installing windows, now would be the time that you frame it out. You want to frame it out before you do obviously the sheetrock repair. Get all your walls going because everything else is going to be like clockwork once you have a good game plan to work with. You have masonry repair. A lot of times in Texas, we see bricks fall off by the window seal, especially if you're installing new windows. If you're fixing foundation, I've seen whole entire walls fall off or bow out. And a lot of times with the foundation, we see cracks, little hairline diagonal cracks going back and forth at the window jambs or at the door, the tips of the door, at the tips of the door. So you're going to address your masonry, fix all the brick that needs to be fixed, fix all of your mortar that needs to be repaired, and now it is also a good time for the siding repairs. If you have any siding that you're doing, now would be the time that you fix them. It would also, if you're fixing your siding, like you're taking it off, you're going to want to do that moisture barrier before you fix the siding, and then put the siding on top of that. Now your interior is prepped and your exterior is prepped, you're going to install your new windows. Again, you need to install your windows before you start doing the sheetrock repairs on the inside of the property. Otherwise, you'll fix all your sheetrock repairs, you'll install the windows, and then you're going to have to fix the sheetrock repairs again. I'm trying to help you not to do double the work. This would be a good time to do all of the major plumbing. You're going to do your fresh water lines, you're going to do your sewer lines, And you're also going to do all of your fixtures, such as your faucets or your water lines for your cutoff valves for your sinks, and your valves behind your shower. When you turn the shower on and off, there's a valve back there. You have open walls at this point. You want to make sure that you fix all of your major plumbing. The only piece of plumbing that you don't want to fix right now is the flange for your toilet. You can't fix the flange for your toilet until you know exactly what kind of floor is going to go inside your bathrooms, because you adjust your flange up and down based upon how thick your flooring is. So don't fix your flange right now. We're going to get that to that in a little bit, but all of your other plumbing in the house should be done now, because all of your walls are open and exposed and everything's very easy to access. The other item on plumbing that this includes is if you're going to build a shower pan, now is the time to build the shower pan. Make sure that when you build the shower pan that you know what tile's going on the bottom of the floor. There's actually a special type of tile that goes on the floor of a shower. It's flexible. You want it to be flexible because typically there's multiple angles coming down the shower pan, and if you use something that's flat, it will crack and break when people start to use it. So the tile that goes on your shower pan floor is typically flexible. It has got a mesh on the back of it. You should have that chosen at this point before you finish your shower pan, so you can adjust your drain properly. The next three things you're going to do, you're going to do all of your major electrical. This includes your electrical box. This includes dropping any switches to places that don't currently have light switches or doesn't have power, such as if you're installing an AC. You need to make sure you have electricity going to your AC unit, both on the interior and the exterior of the house. You're going to do your mechanical. You're actually going to install your AC unit. You're going to install your air return box and all of your ducts if you're doing ducts in the property. You still have exposed walls, so you're also going to try to insulate it. So you should be, at this point, you should be demoed. All of your walls should have been built. You should be pretty close to getting the finish out of your house going. You have your electrical in, you have your plumbing in, you have your HVAC in, and we're going to move on to start sheetrock and painting here in just a little bit. So that brings me to sheetrock. You're at the point where everything is in the walls. If you're running permits and pulling permits at this point, you need to make sure you call your inspector. Your inspector should be able to clear you on framing, insulation, electrical, and plumbing, along with your HVAC unit or your HVAC air condition. All of those permits should be done. Inspector should be signed off right now. If you don't have those done right now and you continue to sheetrock your house, they will make you take off your sheetrock on the whole entire house, make sure that you did the whole entire house properly. So that's some advice that I've seen other people do in the past. Make sure you have your permits done right now. We're going to get into sheetrocking. So sheetrocking, to me, there's essentially a couple steps to sheetrocking. You have the sheetrock itself, where you're going to put the sheetrock on the property. Now, most cities, I don't know of any one that would not, require that you do the ceiling first and then you do the walls. And the reason why is there's a theory that if you're supporting the ceiling with the sheetrock on the walls, you have a less chance of the ceiling coming down. Okay, so you're going to sheetrock the ceiling first. Make sure you have your electrical in and you know where all your lights are going to be, and they're done properly, so you're not cutting holes in your new sheetrock. With sheetrock, you're then going to tape, bed, and texture. So tape is just plastic mesh. That's tape. Mud is the mud that connects the tape to the wall. This way you won't see the seals or the seams in between the two pieces of sheetrock. You have a piece of sheetrock butted up to a piece of sheetrock. You're going to put tape and mud inside there. So you're going to tape, bed, and mud it. And you get everything sanded down and smooth, so then you can start to texture and paint your walls. So you're going to tape, bed, texture, and then you're going to come back and you're going to sand down all of your seams, so that way all your walls look completely smooth. This would be a good time to start installing all of your interior doors and your exterior doors. You don't want to install your doors prior to texture, because you'll get texture and splatter on your doors and your trim. So this would be a good time right now to install your interior and your exterior doors. Now you're ready to paint your whole entire interior. Keep in mind that a lot of times when you paint your interior, your ceiling color is going to be different than your wall color. You don't necessarily need to paint accent walls at this time. You can wait to paint your accent walls at a later date. But if you wanted to paint your accent walls now, it would be a good time. Just make sure that if you painted one coat of paint on it, that is dried prior to you applying your accent wall. So keep in mind right now you do not have trim on your walls. You probably have trimmed out your doors, but you don't have baseboards down. So you don't have baseboards down on your floor. The baseboard goes in after the flooring, so you don't have a gap in between it. However, if you're painting your doors and you're painting your trim right now, probably with an oil-based paint, you might be staining it if you're in another region of the country. You have that paint available in your paint gun. So what a lot of guys do is plastic off the floor, the walls inside of the garage. Make sure you're wearing a paint mask so you don't breathe all that paint in. And paint your doors or paint your trim inside the garage right now, so that way you don't have to go back and try to tape everything off and paint it without painting your walls. If you paint your trim, later on what you're going to do is you're going to just hit it with your air nailer. By the way, when you're using your air nailer, make sure you know where your plumbing is so you don't accidentally install your baseboards with a trim nail and then hit a plumbing pipe. That will be a bad day for you. But do paint your baseboards inside the garage so you can use them after you have installed the floor. So we're rock and rolling on this rehab. You are a large majority away from being done and complete. All you have now is finish out, and it's all cosmetic at this point. So we're going to install our kitchen cabinets if we need to do our kitchen cabinets or do our kitchen cabinet repair. Now there's two separate theories on this. I'm not biased on either one. So you install your kitchen cabinets. Some people think that you should install your floors and put your cabinets on top of your floors. Some people think that you should install your cabinets and butt your floors up to your cabinets. The more I ask around, it's more and more common that people are installing the cabinets onto the plywood and then run the floors up to the cabinets, but you need to make the choice on how you're going to do it. I'm recommending that you install the cabinets before you install the floors. Cabinets are in and you're ready for the finish out on your bathroom. So there is a product called CBU, Cementus Backer Unit. Some people look at it as Hardy Board or Hardy Backer. It's the main person that is known for making it is James Hardy. There's a lot of different products. Make sure that you know what product you're getting and how you install it. Some of it has to be sealed certain ways. You put this red goop on there, or there's different ways to install this particular product. But essentially what it is, it looks like sheetrock. It's made out of a product almost like concrete, and it's better than sheetrock because if it's installed properly, it should be 100% waterproof once you put the tile on it. If for some reason water got between your tile and your hardy board, then this stuff won't rot out. And you want to make sure that you do this in your wet areas, particularly in your bathroom is where they're going to use this. And there is an application that is beyond what I'm teaching you here where you do have to put it on the floor when you're doing tile on the floor. Now you're ready for tile on the bathroom walls. If you have a soap box, you should have already framed that out. It should be roughed in with your hardy backer and you're ready to start doing your tile. You know, put your thin set on there or whatever product you use to adhere your tile. Put your tile on, start cutting it, and you can do all the tile on all the walls inside of your bathroom. This is also a good time to install the shower door. Now, you should have already ordered your shower door or let someone know that it's coming. Sometimes you wait until this step right here in order to measure your shower door. Sometimes the tile's a little bit thicker than you thought that it would. So you want to install all of your tile before you actually do that final measurement to get your shower door. If you don't already have your shower door, you need to get it coming right now because it's ready to be installed and you should be installing it right now at this point. Some people don't want to install a shower door until the very end because if you're doing a seamless shower door, it's very expensive and for some reason they tend to get broke for dumb reasons like people swinging their hammer around on accident and accidentally bumping it. So you might want to wait until the very end of your interior rehab before you install the cosmetic door, but you can install it right now. Tubs in, showers looking good. You're ready for your vanity and your mirrors. So you can start installing your vanities into your bathroom. Next, you're ready for countertops. Sometimes your vanities are going to have countertops on them, but you can surely install your countertops in your kitchen and on your vanities if your vanities don't already have a preset in them. You've installed your vanities, you've installed your counters, you are ready to go to start installing your countertops. When you install your countertops, make sure that your installers are also cutting your sink hole and your faucet hole. Sometimes people trick you, they install it and they don't cut these holes. Just make sure that your service that you're paying for is going to make these holes. On granite and quartz, there's also a final polish that is involved. Also make sure that you're getting that as part of your service you're paying for. Countertops are in. Next thing you're going to do is install your sinks. Depending upon the style of sink, you probably have an overmount or an undermount. You're ready to install no matter what kind of sink you have. So, in your kitchen, you can go ahead and install your backsplash. Just go ahead and install it. Some backsplashes require that they get sealed after they're installed, but you should wait about 48 hours before you actually seal them if you plan to seal your backsplash. A lot of times we see this in travertine. People want to, travertine is porous, so if you got grease on your backsplash, it doesn't wipe off. It goes into the holes, collects bugs and that type of stuff, and that's why you would put the sealant on it. If it's a porcelain product, a lot of people are not sealing the porcelain products because they're very durable and easy to wipe off. You can go ahead and install all your plumbing fixtures. You're going to install your, your hot water, cold water, or your valve for your shower head, your spigot where the water comes out, your drains, the drains in your sinks, and your faucets on your sinks. Make sure that when you're hooking up your hot and cold water that you're hooking it up right. Hot water is always on the left, cold water is always on the right. You will fail your inspection, your final inspection on your plumbing, if you flip-flop the two of those. If the inspector catches it, there's a possibility you're going to fail. You can also start installing your electrical fixtures. Your can light trim goes on at this point. All of your light bulbs are going in. Your fans, any fixtures in your bathrooms, kitchens, install all of your electrical fixtures wherever they might need to be. You're on home stretch. You can now do your hardware, your door hardware. This would be new hinges. If you are doing new hinges, this would be the time to do it because your old hinges probably got painted over. If you're doing new door, actual hinges themselves, either on your cabinets or on your doors, you'd install them now. Cabinet poles, cabinet knobs, and your bath accessories. Typically in most bathrooms we have 3 accessories. You have the toilet paper holder, you have a towel rack, and you have a towel ring. The towel rack is for when you get out of the shower. The towel ring is so people can wipe their hands off when they wash their hands. Those 3 things, if you're installing them, should be installed right now. Now it's time to set your toilet. You can install the flange of your toilet at this point. Assuming that you know what kind of floor you're putting in, raise your flange up accordingly, install your flange, install your floor, and then your toilet goes on top of it. Never for any reason you reuse a wax ring on your toilet. If for some reason you removed a toilet and you're installing a new toilet, don't reuse the old wax ring. It will probably leak in the next 90 days. Even if it was brand new, like you put a toilet on there and you had to take it back off and you put in a brand new toilet back on there, reinstall that wax ring. It's a $5 or $3 part, whatever it is. It's just a good insurance measure if you're going to be installing that toilet. And you're ready for your floors to go down. So you have a couple different varieties of products that we use down here. Typically we're using vinyl or tile in our wet areas being our kitchen, laundry room, and bathroom. However, there's a lot of different products out there, but tile and vinyl typically is going to be in the wet areas. Some people are using engineered or hardwood floor or laminate into their wet areas. Now laminate is not recommended for wet areas because it holds on to moisture and it will buckle and it will bow and it will crack. However, some people do run it into their wet areas because it looks better. It's just not the right application for a wet area. You're going to do your bedrooms. If you have a high-end home, a lot of times you're throwing hardwood floors into your master bedroom. Sometimes you go into your master closet. I hear mixed opinions on this. Some people don't want wood in their rooms at all. They choose to have carpet. Some people only want hard surfaces in their whole entire house and they don't want any carpet. Whatever you're doing, you did the main areas, now do the common area, or now do the bedrooms. Tile where is needed. You're going to put the tile in wherever you need to put the tile in. And you're ready for baseboards. So your flooring should be down completely in your house. Before you do your baseboards, you should do a rough clean, sweep everything up, vacuum everything at least one time. You're going to see if you have any blemishes or anything that you need to fix. Do that now, and then you're ready for baseboards. Your baseboards can be put in your whole entire house. Hopefully you painted them in your garage, so it's just a matter of installing them. There will be a little nail hole once you install your baseboards, assuming you're using an air gun. Just come back and hit that with a brush and paint. You can just dab it just a little bit on there, and that will cover that hole up. Your flooring's installed, you are ready for transition strips. Typically between products, if you're going from hardwood floors to carpet, or you're going from hardwood floors to laminate or something along those lines, whatever you tile from laminate, then you're going to have a little step. One product's going to be a little bit thicker than the other product, and you should install a transition strip in that area. Not all applications require a transition strip. Sometimes you can tuck carpet real nice up to tile or real nice up to laminate, but many applications are going to require a transition strip. Transition strips are also very expensive relatively to what you're paying for. People just don't think about how expensive they are. They're very commonly missed on your flooring bid. So if you have a flooring bid, you might want to double check, make sure you have transition strips, or you will have a gap there. And they only come in certain sizes. So anything over about 1/2 inch, the transition strip might look not as cosmetically appealing. So if you have a huge drop in one of your houses, then you may consider how you redo that floor to lower the distance of your transition strip. I would say about a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, something like that transition is about how most transition strips will ease that spot. We're going back outside for a couple of things. Now would be a good time to get your fence in order. If you're redoing your fence completely, fix it, make sure your gates are working. Some cities actually require that you have a working operational gate, and it has to open both from the front side and the backyard. So from the front and the back. A lot of times also the fence cannot exceed the back side of the house. So if this is your house, this is the back, this is the front. I don't know how to do that. This is the back, this is the front. Your fence can only go from the back of the house back, so that's where you put the gate. Some are halfway in between and some are on the front of the house. So look at your regulations for your city to see how far you can bring your fence forward into the yard. Again, we're working on the fence as one of the last things because want to make sure that you're not attracting attention to the house until the very end of your project. It stops on theft, it stops from nosy neighbors, and it stops from the city getting involved in your business. The mailbox. Everybody forgets the mailbox and everybody forgets to put numbers on their house. I don't know why, but they always forget it. If you're gonna tag your driveway with your numbers, spray paint them. If you're gonna put a mailbox on or you can put numbers on your house, now's the time to do it. Another item that's always commonly missed is the doorbell. If you haven't installed the doorbell already, now would be a good time. I like to keep it towards the end because for some reason if you install it at the beginning, it tends to break, it tends to not work, or you get paint on it. So if you install it at the end, we stop all of those from happening. We're seeing more and more a lot of people putting a wireless doorbell in. They take off the outside unit, put a wireless, it goes to a wireless unit on the inside, stops it from being hardwired, stops it from having those additional expenses of rewiring and that type of stuff. Install your doorbell, install your mailbox. You are near the end of your process here for remodeling a house. This is where you want to do the landscaping. You don't want to do the landscaping in the beginning because if you do it in the beginning, it's inevitable that it's going to get ruined. It's going to look horrible. You're going to get paint splatter on it. You're going to get paint on your bushes. Do your landscaping now at the very, very end of your project. You're at a stage in your property where it's looking good. You have almost everything done. However, there are blemishes in your property that you do not realize. You want to take a second pair of eyes, somebody who preferably has not seen the house or who is insanely picky, bring them to the property and say, let's test everything. Let's make sure all the faucets are working. Let's make sure all the drains are working. If there's a blemish, if there's a nick, if there's a piece of baseboard that didn't get installed, if there's one light missing, if one smoke detector, the battery's beeping on it, this is the time you're going to go through the house, go buy yourself a roll of blue tape, maybe 2 or 3. You're going to have way more things right now that need to be done than you think, and go and blue tape the whole entire house and look for every single blemish that you have. Now I'm sharing this with you because a lot of people don't believe that this portion of the rehab exists, but it's true. Things are going to get bumped, things are going to get scratched, things aren't going to be straight at this point in the rehab, but you're going to go back and readjust things, make sure that they're completely perfect. Now, the house looks like it's done a lot. You've made a lot of progress, but this punch-out stage, whatever number you think that the punch-out is going to take, it's going to take 2 or 3 or 4 times that long. A lot of times on a punch-out for us, we're doing 3 or 4 days just to fix that punch-out list. A lot of times we're calling back new crews, we're calling back people who fixed it originally to honor their warranty on their work. I'm just letting you know that it looks like it's completely done, but you have a couple more days for final tune-ups and final things right now when you're blue taping the house. And you have to blue tape it or your end product's not going to look the way that you want it to. You just blue tape the house, you're gonna go through and you're gonna repair everything that you blue taped. You make a punch out list, write it down, send it to your contractor in an email, say I need all of this. That way, when a week from now comes and they're done with your punch out list, you can go back and you can look at every single thing that you blue taped. If you just blue tape the house, your contractor will remove the blue tape in all the spots and you won't remember where you put all the blue tape, and you'll think it's all fixed, and then a month later you'll find out that something you did blue tape did not get fixed. You're ready for the final clean. You're gonna clean everything, okay? Now something happens when you clean everything. It's kind of like the punch-up phase or the blue tape phase, where you just clean the whole entire house and you're gonna find more things that are wrong with the house. Dirt covers up a lot of blemishes, so you're doing a final clean in your house. Make sure your cleaner is cleaning your window seals, inside all your cabinets, and your door thresholds, sweeping your front porch and your back porch. And you also want to make sure that the cleaner is cleaning in just areas that you might not think about, such as they should be wiping down your vents, especially if they have like little dust mops on them. You do want to, at this point, if you haven't already, you want to change your air filter on your house. You've had a lot of dust in your house, your AC's probably been going, your furnace has been on. You need to go in and change your filter, or when people open up that AC unit, they're going to see all this dirt inside there. Also, there's a constant battle on who gets to clean where the AC unit goes and where the hot water heater goes. The cleaner doesn't want to put water on it. They're scared they're going to get electrocuted. And the contractor who fixed your property, they think that the cleaner should clean it. So I don't care who cleans it, but make sure somebody at least wipes it down and vacuums it off inside both where your hot water heater is and where your air conditioner is. Again, you're not going to like this process. You've already blue taped the house. You've already done a punch out. You're done a final clean, but more stuff has appeared. Go back through the property and blue tape the house again. If you bring another pair of eyes, preferably not you, preferably not somebody who did the first punch out list, now's the time to bring them. Bring your mom, your brother, bring somebody who hasn't seen the property, bring the neighbor, and let them blue tape it with you. Another set of eyes is going to be very important, because you've already seen it and you stop seeing it because you've seen it so much. Another set of eyes is going to help you out right at this process. And I know you're probably not going to believe me that you have to blue tape your house twice, even after you did the final clean. Trust me, there's stuff broken right now that you missed. And you're going to repair the stuff on your blue tape. You're going to write a list again of everything that you blue taped, have your contractor fix it and repair it again. It's going to take them a couple of days to do this final punch-out list. What looks to you like it should take 20 minutes or 2 or 3 hours, it's going to take them 2 or 3 days. It's a lot more 20 and 30-minute things than you could possibly imagine. You're also probably fixing a couple things right now that they should have fixed the first time, but you're fixing them again. Write it down, blue tape it, and give your contractor some time to blue tape it. At this point, do not give your contractor a final check until everything on the blue tape is done and complete. You've cleaned it once, but I'm going to recommend that you clean it twice. So you've already cleaned it once, you went through, you're doing your second punch-out list, punch-out list is done. Now you have carpet fuzz, you have dust, you have a corner that was missed by the first clean, you have a patio that wasn't swept off, it's been a week, it's been 3 days, I don't know how long it's been, but you definitely need to go through and do a final wipe down, a final touch, and just make sure everything is clean. This is a spot too, if there's overspray on anything, you should be removing the overspray from those areas. Like if there's overspray on your hinges, your handles, your fans, your light fixtures, your faucets, if there's mud splatter, fix it, clean it now. You're done, you're pretty much done with your rehab. After your contractor has done all the work in full, you're satisfied, it looks clean, cut them their last check, move on, go buy another investment property. I highly, highly encourage you to be an investor buying real estate, not managing your rehab. I think you can actually make more money with your time is more valuable, and your money is more valuable if you're finding properties instead of fixing them yourself. However, you're done with your rehab and you can cut your contractor his last check. My name is Ron Carlson. I'm with Renovation Gurus. I appreciate you taking time to watch all this information. I'm hoping that it benefits you in your investment world, that you are able to buy more houses, that you're wiser, smarter because of this education. Propelio Academy has a lot more videos. Continue to watch them, continue to educate yourself. If for some reason you want to contact me or you want to contact somebody on my team, feel free to reach us at renovationgurus.com. You can also call our 855 number. It's 855-99-GURUS. Gurus translated as 48787. So it'll be 855-99-48787, or you can reach us at admin@renovationgurus.com. If you have questions, if you need a bid, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you for your time.